The biggest problem that we face as eBay and Amazon seller is to deal with item not received case, deal with return, deal with A to Z claims. In this video, I want to talk about how item not received case, how returns works on eBay and Amazon. I also want to talk about how you can minimize item not received case, how you can minimize the return as well. And third thing, which is most important, how you actually mentally deal with those things, because those things, especially as a new seller, can be really disturbing. So let's get started. So first of all, let's talk about item not received cases. Item not received case is very simple to understand. You receive an order from a customer and you post that order, and the buyer will come back and say they haven't received their order. They're gonna open a dispute with eBay and Amazon, telling them that they haven't received their order. eBay or Amazon, they will give you certain dates to deal with these kind of cases. If you don't do anything, then eBay and Amazon will simply take the money and they will refund it to the customer. And the customer, if the item was delivered and they are simply lying about it, they will get to keep their item, or you can actually claim the money from your courier if the item is not delivered. How you normally deal with these kind of scenarios, and I'm gonna be straight up honest with you, you have to have a tracking number. If you do not have a tracking number, in 99.99%, or even if I say 100%, that will be completely right. eBay or Amazon will simply refund the money to the customer, unless the customer is repeatedly claiming that they are not receiving the item and it is in their system already. And I can understand not everybody have a profit margin, especially once you are a new seller, to send everything with using a trackable postage. So in that kind of circumstances, I will always tell you, listen, 99.99% of the people who I sold the item on eBay and Amazon in past 10 years, they are good, honest customer. They want to pay for their item and they want to get their item delivered. If somebody happened to be, they want to scam you or do something like that, the chances are you can actually avoid those kind of customer. And the way to do that, once you receive order, it literally take like 5 to 10 minutes, regardless how many orders you receive. Just go through your Seller Central and look at how much feedback they have on their account. If their feedback number is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, open their profile and see how long they are registered with eBay or Amazon. If they are new seller, I will only send the order using a trackable postage to those customer, because it is more likely that they are going to open some kind of item not received case. Because what's happened, those kind of scammy dodgy buyers, they open an account, they make couple of claims, and then the eBay and Amazon will realize that they are actually scamming sellers and they will block their account, but they just go on and they open another account. So because of that, every time they open a new account, they're gonna have a less feedback on their account. So before you post the item to them, you have to just see how much feedback they have and then use the trackable postage. The second tip I can give you, sometime as a new seller, we can understand, we just write the address with pen and paper, we go to the post office and we use the stamp. The problem with the stamp, it is so obvious that this item is not trackable item. I recommend you using click and drop, or using buying a postage directly from eBay. In that case, still the item won't be trackable. It's gonna cost you a little bit less money as compared to buying from a post office. You will be actually able to save money as compared to using stamps, but the buyer will get this impression that this postage might be trackable postage, because every post that you buy online, it's gonna print some kind of barcode on the letter. Dealing with item not received case, it's only going to be once you are sending letters, either small letters or large letter. With any company, it is Royal Mail, it is Hermes, whatever, anytime when you send a parcel, you can always at least get a delivery confirmation from the company. So for the Royal Mail, if you are sending, let's say, a small parcel, you don't have to pay extra just for the sign for postage. The small parcel comes with the reference number by default. It is included in their standard price in a first class or second class. By using that reference number, you can always at least check if that item was delivered or not, and that is more than enough for your item not received case on eBay and Amazon as well. Once you deal with that kind of particular buyer, I will just simply go onto eBay and I actually block them at the same time, because those are repeated customers. Sometime what gonna happen, they might try to buy something from you again by realizing that this seller is not using a trackable postage. So by blocking them, they won't be able to buy from you again. Also, there are some settings that I recommend you do inside your seller preferences. I'm gonna show you. It will keep all the scammers away as well. So inside your selling preferences, you can actually come down and you can come here and see blocked buyer list. Just click on edit and it's gonna come this one, buyer's requirement. On the buyer requirement, you can actually block the buyer who have 2 cancellation unpaid purchases in past 6 months as well. I can change it to 1 month as well, 6 month and 12 month. I like to keep it at 6 month. That's enough time. And then also you can block the buyer where you don't normally post the items, so they don't accidentally buy something from you as well. You can also block the buyer who are buying a lot of items from you. So I maximum allow 5 items in 10 days. I think the types of item that I sell, end user, the consumer, they won't need more than 5. And you can also set these requirements for somebody who have a feedback less than 5. That's the minimum, or you can go back to 0 as well, but that maximum I can do 5 as well. So that's what I like to keep in the settings right here. So anybody who don't go through that particular criteria, they won't be able to buy from you, and this will actually keep away a lot of scammers. Some of the other settings that I like to do inside my postage, I'm going to show you that also helps a lot when it comes to return an item not received case as well. So when you are listing an item, they will normally ask you what service you are going to be using. That service is normally visible to your buyer as well. So if you just choose something like first class or something like this, just the first class, or even like a second class, the buyer can normally see that you are just using a normal first class and second class. So they will, they are looking for those kind of sellers who are not using a trackable postage. Even though you are not using a trackable postage, I highly recommend you put, if you are using a first class, then put Royal Mail 24, because that's a trackable service, and Royal Mail track 48 for second class as well. So once the buyer will see that you are using a trackable service and they are potential scammer, they will not buy from you, because they only want to buy from the sellers who are not using the trackable postage. So by just changing the name, they can see that this is a trackable, even though you are not using a trackable postage as well. This helps a lot as well. So now let's talk about returns. Returns are really kind of complicated stuff. As a business, once you are running any kind of business offline or online, the buyers have some consumer rights given to them by law. It's not in just eBay or Amazon terms and condition. Anytime you buy something from a business, you have a right to return that item within 14 days. You don't have to give them a reason. You can just simply say you didn't like the item. The consumer have a right to return that particular item. In some cases, those products will be exempt from returning them, if you are selling a digital item, but that's not the case once you are selling on eBay and Amazon. Most of the sellers are selling a physical products. So every product that you sell on eBay and Amazon, if it's a physical product, and most likely it is a physical product, once you are selling it as a business, buyer have a right given to them by law that they can return the item within 14 days by just simply saying they don't like the item, or bought it by mistake, or they found a better price, or they found somewhere else, or they no longer need the item as well. So once they will claim that with eBay or Amazon, it is their responsibility to pay for the return postage. They will have to buy the label with their own money and return the item back to you. And if the item is in the same condition the way you send it to them, then you can go ahead and you can return the money back to your customer. Okay, the things get tricky once the buyer will claim that they received the item in a different condition, or the item is not as described as the way you said inside the listing as well. I'm gonna tell you honestly in this one as well. Very honestly, eBay and Amazon, both of the platform, and I can completely understand their position. They are consumer friendly platform. In any kind of business, finding a supplier or finding a product or finding a seller is not the problem. It's the buyer who is always have a priority. So as their point of view, they always gonna give a priority to their customer, because they know if they can keep the customer coming back to their platform, the seller will have to sell on their platform. And a lot of people, once I say this, they're just gonna say, oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and open my own Shopify store, I'm gonna design my own website. And I always ask them, okay, where are you gonna bring a customers to your website? You're gonna have to use a paid advertising, or you're gonna have to run a Facebook ad or Google ads as well. It's not easy to run your own website, because running your own website is just opening a shop in the middle of jungle where no customers are passing by. eBay and Amazon, they have this leverage because regularly customer comes on their platform and they have created a value already, and they are getting paid for that particular value. So once the buyer will say the item is not the way it is, then it is your responsibility to send the return label to them once you receive the item. Even the buyer is lying about it, trust me, in most of the time it's not worth pursuing and saying that it is in the condition the way I send it to the buyer. It's not worth the time. These things can be really mentally really disturbing, especially once you are a new seller. But I'm gonna tell you, to be honest with you, once you are running a business, you have to consider these things. These things are part of the business. You cannot run away from them. So for me, the way I deal with it mentally, I do not give them enough thought. I do not give them in a lot of mental space. If the customer will say they haven't received the item and I do not have a tracking number, even though I can be really sure that item has been delivered, I know it's not worth fighting for. It doesn't worth my time. I know at the end of the day, it is going to be the loss, and not a lot of people can afford to, do and face that loss at the same time. And then I always talk about, in this line of business, this is the way the things work. It doesn't happen. It doesn't have to be like that, but this is the way they are, and that's the part of running business. I want everybody to be honest, and if they receive the item, they should not open item not receive case. But if somebody happened to be dishonest, that's the way it is. I can't do much about it. In the terms of dealing returns, as soon the buyer will open the return, if I see the item was expensive and it is worth for me to get the item back and I can resell it and still I will be in a profit, then I will, send them a postage. They will return the item back to me, and then I can, relist the item, the return label, all those kind of loss. It's okay. Again, it is the part of business, the way I'm saying. But I do not go back and argue with my customer. No, it is the way I listed an item and you are lying and all those kind of stuff. No, it's not worth, to be honest with you, because as a customer, he is dealing with you. We as a seller, we are dealing with many kind of customer. So we cannot give them that mental space. I mean, we got better things to focus on at the end of the day. So what you have to do is, as soon they open the case, give them a label if you think that it will be worth for you. Sometime I have a really iPhone cheap charging cable, it's for $199 or something like that. and it's not worth for me to give them like a label and then get the item back and then resell it. They normally probably have opened the packing already, and if the cable can be faulty at the same time, I mean, it's not that always the customer is lying. So I will just, without any second thought, anything, just refund them and move on. And at the end of the day, ever since I started selling, yes, I do lose a lot of money in a returns and in an item not received case sometime, and it is a big chunk of profit which goes inside this one. But I will just get over it by saying, okay, it is a business. It is a business, and that's the way it is gonna be. You have to face these kind of things and just move on. Okay, to listen to me, guys, it's just gonna take few seconds. The thing is, if you sell on eBay and Amazon, you need help with the company registration, you need help with tax, you need help with accounting. Osome is one of the best value for the money. They have a dedicated software which can link with your eBay account, which can link with your Amazon account, and you will be able to see all the expenses, everything at one place. If you have a receipt, just take a picture, upload in an application, and you can anytime you can ask them any question. They have a chat function inside their application as well. So you get a dedicated account and you get the software as well, and it is all in one package, and it's the best value for money. Their price will depend on at what level you are. So if you are just starting out, they can help with your company formation, all that kind of VAT registration, all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to worry about the tax return. Everything will become automated, and everything you will be able to see at one place as well. I have a link for them inside the description. By using that link, you will get £100 off as well. And they sponsor my channel for a very long time. I'm personally very happy with their services. Anyway, if you want to know more about the postage, like where to buy the cheap postage, where to save the money on a postage, all that kind of stuff as well, I'm gonna link 2 videos right here. They're gonna be popping up, and I'm gonna link those videos inside the description along with a discount link with the Osome.